everybody, Earl at thelogbook.com, back for more Voyages of Shelf-Discovery, and going to start working on the backlog of Eaglemoss ships that I picked up from the various sales that Master Replicas did in 2022 and 23, and I picked up a lot of things that I had always meant to pick up before, but whenever they were offering discounts and stuff, it's like, okay, now it was worth the wait. In this case, you remember some time back we opened the concept version of the Reliant, which was the Reliant as originally designed before a minor error during pre-production meant that the version of the ship that was approved was basically upside down. They looked at the blueprint upside down and said, hey, that looks neat. And so they had to rewire it. Well, the concept version was the original right side up version of the Reliant. Today we are going to open, with some help from Mercutio here, the version of the Reliant that you actually got to see in Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. Mercutio's being extra helpful today, as you can tell. Of course, we have the clear component of the stand. We have the stand itself. We have the ship. Very, very tenderly get the ship out. Very nice version of the Reliant. Not exactly something you want to fly around the room a whole lot, and yet it is a very nice representation of the ship. And even the Koosh agrees. Okay, here's the stand that actually holds the ship. Here is the base for the stand, with a plastic piece that keeps the ship up in the package. Now, can I actually open the little poly bag that the weighted base comes in? Probably not, especially not with feline assistance. I always wind up shredding these things, and this time, I'm afraid, was definitely not an exception. Yeah, let's just tear it up. What the heck? Why not? So we have our weighted base. The hole to plug the stand into is way back at the back. So that tells you a lot about where the center of gravity on this particular model is going to be. You have it hold the back of the saucer section, and very nicely done. So let's take a look at the two versions of the Reliant, kind of side by side. You have, the one that you actually saw in the movie, and then the ship as originally designed. I love them both. I'm girls, don't make me choose between you. I like both of these designs. I don't understand why the upside down version didn't stick around as another class of ship. It may have done somewhere, like Star Trek Online or something, and I just don't know about it because I don't play Star Trek Online. But the Reliant is wonderfully detailed. The blue section of the warp engines, that's translucent on either side, so light passes all the way through it. All of the detailing is there. There's even kind of the pearlescent Aztecing in the paint job, believe it or not, which I would not have held it against Eaglemoss if they chose not to do that, but they chose to do it, and it looks amazing. It's just a wonderful little... I say it's a wonderful little ship. You notice that in the boxes, both of these ships, the Reliant and the Stargazer, they're taking up most of those boxes. Now, that is a nice development after some of the shuttlecraft sets that I've opened in the past, where it's like, hey, we've got this big standard-sized box, but a shuttlecraft about the size of a Hot Wheels that they were originally charging $25 for. So I'm glad to have some ships that are, they are taking up most of the space. Sniff, sniff. Thanks, Koosh. Very helpful. Oh, good. He finds Khan tasty. I'm laughing at the superior intellect that is about to get eaten by a cat directly astern. Let's get the Stargazer opened up, since we have both versions of the Reliant out of the box now. Now, the Stargazer is a product of Star Trek The Next Generation, and famously, it's a kit bash. They took commercially available model kits and slammed them together, and basically to make the desk model in Picard's office. And then all of a sudden, before you know it, we have to have, an actual filming model of the Stargazer, because we're going to build an episode around that. So, then we got to see the Stargazer in all of her glory. Very nicely detailed here. The engines, again, are translucent. You see the light shining through the engines there. We have a much wider stand on this one. Now that is a fairly wide stand compared to the one that came with the Reliant. And again, I'm going to spare you the opening of the bag because, spoiler, it did not survive intact. Sometimes you just got to tear into the bag and get your little spaceship out of there. You have to make sure that your engines are within the stand. And again, it clips to the back of the saucer section. A little bit tricky. Very, very precise fit. But also, once again, an amazing model of the ship. The Stargazer had some different detailing on its saucer section than you see on most other ships that are generally agreed to be from the movie era. We're given to believe the Stargazer was an older design. It was an old ship by the time younger Picard was in command of it. That's younger, older. That's a lot of mishmash as far as that talk. Again, you can see the light passing through the engines. Nice feature. And again, we have the paint Aztecing on the ship's hull, which, if I remember correctly, because of the speed with which they had to come up with the shooting model, you don't actually see the Aztecing in the shooting model. If I am not very much mistaken, when it shows up in the battle, and then that model continues to show up as other ships of the same class throughout Star Trek The Next Generation, Tobine's astern. So you didn't get that Aztecing, but they went ahead and put it on the model. Good job, Eaglemoss. This kind of stuff, this is why Eaglemoss had such a loyal customer base, because these ships they really went to town on, and it was lovely. And since we've got good lighting here, let's do one more turnaround. Let's get the alternate universe Reliant, the concept Reliant, back in front of the camera and do another turn around with a cat in the background. Again, you pick up on the Aztecing, very finely detailed paint job. Yeah, look at that. Look at that on the engine that's closer to the camera. you can really see that. And again, the translucent warp engines. Oh, she's slightly askew in the stand. That was probably from me moving the ship around and rotating it. But again, fantastic detail for a ship we never actually saw. So, right here, I mean, you have really good examples all around of why Eaglemoss had such a loyal customer base. I really love ships from the movie era. There's just something about them. The Enterprise refit, that is still my favorite Enterprise. Not, I mean, it's not even close. So we have added the Reliant and the Stargazer to the fleet. No regrets there. There are still other Eaglemoss ships I picked up on sale at various points in the past couple of years that I have yet to open, so this is not our last Eaglemoss unboxing. So hang on for that. There's more where these came from. Thanks for watching.